Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Help on the Way podcast. We're featuring October 30th,
Woo.
1970, from the SUNY Gym in Stony Brook, New York. I am your co-host, The Game, here with my fellow co-hosts, Knob and Fig. Let's give them an old Fig hates new riders of the Purple Sage. Hello, friends.
What
That
an
is.
incredibly positive opener to today's episode.
You told me you had a little secret prepared, but I didn't think it was just going to be slandering me in my
Hey, it's
lack
not
of
slander
interest.
if it's true.
That is true. That is a complete defense to slander. Yeah, there's no real interest for me in New Riders of the Purple Sage. Jerry on pedal steel is kind of cool, but that doesn't take me that far.
One might
And-
be wondering, go ahead, Knob, I do apologize.
I was going to say, the reason we're talking about the new Riders of the Purple
Yes.
Sage, take it away, Gabe.
Welcome to our new podcast, the Purple Sage
Yes.
podcast.
This is the new Riders of the Purple
Every
Sage
week we're going to
podcast.
discuss their cover of Honky Tonk Women.
Oh god, it was like just cats just screaming in the middle of the night. No, the reason we bring up new writers is because the show we are featuring today, October 30th, 1970, is sort of a little bit of a strange show.
Yeah.
New writers of the Purple Sage joined the boys. And it was they did, I guess it was what, 2 whole shows, right?
Yeah, an early show and a late show.
Yeah, and New Riders was the opening band of each show. So there was a New Riders set, Grateful Dead set, New Riders set, Grateful Dead set, and most of the recordings of said show have the New Riders sets included. And in our reviewing process this week, we listened to some of that set, and not for us. Not for us, that's for sure.
Well, I did
Well-
listen to the song that you liked. What was the one
Honky
that
Tonk
you
Women?
called out? No, not Honky Tonk Women. I did not listen to that.
Oh, 6 Days on the Road.
Yeah, that one was okay. And then I saw they did a song called Superman, and I was like, well, this can't be awful. It's about Superman. And I was mistaken on that point.
And it was awful.
You telling me it wasn't Superman?
It was none of that.
Before we head into the main event that is known as October 30th, 1970, we are, of course, going to start off with our Channel 6 news segment, and we only have one bulletin this week. However, it is a quite important bulletin.
Yeah.
One Bobby Weir
Woo.
has celebrated his 77th birthday on October the 16th. And I believe, I don't know if I actually saw any pictures of him doing any birthday stuff this year on the Instagram. But
I'm sure there was some yoga involved.
oh yes. Yes, I'm sure
All
there
right, so
was
he's
some-
only 76. I just did
I
the
was
math.
just going to say,
Yeah.
I looked at the number and I was like, I don't think he's 77.
The initial one was mental math.
Yeah,
and then
it was too on brand for me to be the one to go. I actually don't think that's correct, so I'm glad you felt that way, Fig.
I'm glad you ran it through your spreadsheets. It came out to it's 76. It's 76. Yeah.
Bobby, we do apologize for giving you one more year than you have earned so far. Happy 76th birthday, Bobby.
Yeah.
And is he still on tour, Knob? Is he still out there right now?
No, the Wolf Brothers tour wrapped up. I know they have their New Year's dates coming up. A couple months from now in December. Oh, and they're also doing their
then
Capitol Theater run in mid-December.
So Cap Theater, New Year's, dead ahead. So
Yeah,
Bobby has.
yeah, he's got a good packed schedule.
Yeah, I would say
I'm
so.
gonna try and see one of those Cap shows. I don't know which or if it will actually happen, but I'm gonna try.
Nice.
How many, off the top of your head, do you know how many he's doing?
I mean, it helps that I have his website pulled up, but he's doing 5
Oh.
nights at the Cap, the 12th through the 17th.
Awesome.
Fun.
Is that Wolf
I
Bros?
think it'll be cool. Yeah, Wolf Bros with the Wolf
Gotcha.
Pack. I
Oh, with the
saw him
Wolfpack.
for the
Okay.
first. Yeah, my first time seeing Bob Weir and the Wolf Bros, as the eagle-eared viewers will recall, was earlier this year in February, also at the Capitol Theater. So I think it'd be cool to see him at the Cap again.
No, but I
I've been
know
there
that.
once, so now I can call it the Cap.
Yeah, earn your stripes. I know that J-Rad's coming around East Coast soon. They'll be
Yes.
in Bethlehem in November. I think they'll be in Philly in November. I'm sure they'll be in New
Yep.
York. Do you have any plans to see
I am.
J-Rad this swing?
I'm going down to DC to see them in November
Oh,
because they
random.
initially just announced the DC show. I have some friends who live down there, and I was like, yeah, I'll grab tickets. I'll go visit some friends. It'll be a nice time. And then, like, 3 weeks later, they announced a show in Philadelphia, and I'm like, okay. But I'm excited. I'm going to go down to DC and see them. I think it'll be cool. I'm always happy to see J-Rad, and I honestly don't
Oh yeah.
think I've gotten to see them since the January Brooklyn Bowl shows, which is it's been a while for me, for someone who loves J-Rad as much as I do.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking, and they're not heading up to New York. They will be in Philly on
No.
the 17th of November, and they'll be in Bethlehem.
Oh,
I might.
if they were doing New York, I'd do New York. I would say, hey,
Yeah.
sorry. But
Yeah.
no,
Interesting.
just Bethlehem, Philly, and DC.
Cool.
All right, moving on to our main event this week. October 30th, 1970, at the SUNY Gym in Stony Brook, New York. This was a Friday night. Yeah, and we will just go into the sets here. We're not going to discuss the new writer sets, but we are going to discuss rather the late or the early and the late shows. So, first things first, we're going to start with the early show on October 30th, 1970. Kicked off with Cold Rain and Snow into Truckin, Sugar Magnolia, Next Time You See Me and My Uncle, Drums, Good Lovin', Another Drums, Cumberland Blues, Good Lovin', and it wrapped up with Casey Jones. Fig, what were your thoughts on show one?
Show one was a good show. Start off with Cold Rain and Snow. And by the way, I just like to say, welcome back, everybody. This is our first show together in quite some time.
It's
So
true.
happy
It's
to
been a
have.
little bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Happy to have y'all back. Did a little quickie episode last week that hopefully sufficed for the fans, but we're not going to do it all that often, but just people's schedules got in the way. So I'm going to start with, if my dog will let me, because she thinks it's playtime, Cold Rain and Snow. My immediate reaction was just, God, Jerry's voice sounds incredible. Awesome, some nice fill work on Cold Rain and Snow. I really did like that version. So we get into Trucking number one. I thought this was well sung by Bobby with a lot of emphasis and a lot of just power in his voice. There was a sweet and beautiful sounding jam in the middle. And this is kind of like an Allman Brothers, era of the band. I feel like they were kind of playing similar in style to that. They kind of had like a southern kind of feel to their jams all throughout the night. Sugar Mags was fun and poppy. Next Time You See Me, I actually like the harmonies on this one a lot. But it did sound like I've heard this one before, especially Pigpen's harmonica solo. It's just not too much variation, I guess, for a song like this. But I did like Jerry's solo, and Jerry kind of sounded like Eric Clapton. Just did some really nice kind of licks, and just his use of space reminded me of Clapton and doing a blues solo as well. So that was kind of cool. Me and My Uncle was just decent. Good Loving was a is that where I'm at? Good Loving, or am I? Yeah, Good
Yes.
Lovin'. It was a fast rockabilly style. I wrote Jesus Billy. He sounds like Ginger Baker.
Mm.
Um, and it might just because at that point I didn't realize that there were two drummers. Um, and maybe they were both drumming at the same time. But they were just, I mean, just it was just interesting and it was fast and it was, some pretty cool grooves going on. Drums, I wrote as my dog knocks my guitar down and freaks herself out. Drums I wrote in Knob's droll style. I just found the dictionary definition of the word drum, which is a percussion instrument sounded by being struck with sticks or the hands, typically cylindrical, barrel-shaped or bowl-shaped with a taut membrane over one or both ends. This is my
I'm in
podcast.
the
I can do that.
room. I'm here.
You would do it if you thought of it. That's
That's true.
totally your
That's
style of
true.
thing to say. It's like
That's true. I was taking offense to the word droll.
droll's a good thing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it can be a good thing. It's in vogue
Huh.
to be droll, I believe. All right, so Cumberland, it was just okay. Nothing really wowed me. And then we got back into Good Lovin'. Is that right? Yeah, wow.
Yep.
And I really liked the intro and the build. That just kind of kept going and going, and it was really cool to hear that. And then we had a nice groove to the jam on that one, and we ended up with Casey Jones, which was an okay version of the hit single Du Jour. And so with that, I will kick it over to my friend Knob.
Sure. Thank you. I wasn't huge on this show, truth be told. I think it there's very tight playing. There's no wrong note played. I just found it to be a very mellow show, especially set one. Just every song was a little bit slower than I like to hear. Okay, we've been doing this podcast for 2 years now, and I've been waiting to say this about an actual Grateful Dead show this entire time. More like Dead and Slow, am I right? Anyway, so yeah, Cold Rain and Snow is kind of a mellow opener.
I take offense to that.
Yeah?
No, not really. I just wanted to be that guy that takes offense to that.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, the Good Lovin' was like double time, but other than that, everything felt a little just slow and not having quite the energy I want, especially out of Primal Dead. So Cold Rain and Snow is a bit of a mellow opener, but it seems like Jerry puts all of that energy into his vocal delivery. The jam kind of attempts to explode, but just kind of fizzles out. It's not bad. None of the songs tonight are bad. I'm just not wowed by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Truckin has a fun little tuning jam right before it. It kind of reminds me of the jam that Dead & Co. like to do before officially starting Truckin. It's a really tight rendition. Bobby mostly nails the lyrics. There's some tight harmonies, some really tight snare work from Kreutzmann. It's too mellow to wow, but it is a really tight performance. Sugar Magnolia's fun. Some tight harmonies. It's interesting. So this show was 2 days before American Beauty came out, the album.
Cool.
And
good
you
context.
can thank you. And you can kind of feel that at times, because like this Sugar Magnolia is much closer to the American Beauty version that I've probably ever heard the Dead actually play. Again, some tight harmonies, some strong vocal delivery from Bob. I think Bob was really on all night in terms of his vocals. They even included the backing vocals on the Sunshine Daydream part, which you very rarely get. The little do, which was fun. The band doesn't quite agree how it ends, or maybe they don't know how it ends. But it's a fun rendition, nevertheless. I love Next Time You See Me. Longtime listeners of the pod will know that. I say this every time Next Time You See Me comes up. I really do enjoy the harmonies that Jerry adds to this song, even if it does kind of keep the song from growing. It stays in a relatively samey place the whole time. The mellower groove they're playing with this evening tends to really work here. Pig sounds great. He's singing really well. He's playing the harp well. Having a good time. Even Me and My Uncle is on the slower side. I don't know if I've ever heard of Me and My Uncle this slow. It is worth it for what Jerry adds. I think that's really nice. To me, the highlight of set one is the Good Lovin' sequence. The first Good Lovin' is incredibly fast, and nevertheless, they do not miss a beat. The drums are adding a lot. Pigpen sounds great. It's just a very different vibe to any Good Lovin' I've heard. I don't think would like if this is how Good Lovin' always sounded, but I really enjoyed this rendition. My notes say, I'm gonna lose this fight considering there's 10 minutes of drums in the middle, but I'm right, this Good Lovin' is awesome. I will say that the drums stay relatively samey for pretty much the whole time, but after... it probably takes them like 8 minutes to go somewhere interesting, but once it goes there, it does get interesting, which is cool. And then again, Cumberland is similarly tight, if a little too mellow for its own good, though not as extreme as I feel about the rest of the set. It really gets cooking with Jerry's solo. I will say that this is a song where Phil's harmonies make me understand Fig's gripes about Phil's harmonies. That being said, I don't
Which
think this
one?
is a bad
Good Lovin'?
Cumberland.
Oh,
No,
Cumberland.
Cumberland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll argue that they don't transition back into Good Lovin' so much as they end Cumberland Blues, and then there's like 15 seconds of daylight, and then they go into the beginning of Good Lovin'. But that being said,
Yeah,
the Good Lovin',
I
yeah,
was shocked when I was reading down the list and they actually went back into Good Lovin'. Because that's not how I recalled it happening.
yeah, it just felt like they started another Good Lovin' after
Right.
Cumberland finished.
And there was a very long intro on that second Good
Yeah,
Lovin'. You didn't
I
really know what
agree.
was happening. Yeah.
No, not at all. I do. They have a lot of fun with the jam going into Good Lovin' too. Um, it's really cool, very playful with a lot of like stopping and starting, which is really cool to hear. It's just a very playful rendition, which was a lot of fun. And I forgot to take a note about Casey Jones, but I know I listened to it. Anyway, what did you think, Game?
It was good. I really enjoyed the Cold Rain opener. I did like Truckin. Sugar Mags was great. Really enjoyed Next Time You See Me. I'm not always the biggest fan of Pigpen songs, but Next Time was great. Me and my uncle was okay. The drum solo was all right. Good Lovin' was great. Cumberland was great, and Good Lovin' was great. And Casey Jones was pretty good. I don't have anything special wrote down for Casey Jones. Um, First show was really good. I'm not normally the biggest fan of Primal Dead, and I really don't know if you'd even consider this Primal Dead.
It's of the era, but it doesn't
Yeah.
sound it.
No,
I don't
it's
know. I felt like there was a kind of a garage band-ish feel
Hmm.
to
There are
tonight.
definitely
Yeah.
moments.
but no, I was very impressed with show one. Show two kicked off with Smokestack Lightning into Beat It On Down the Line, into China Cat Sunflower, I Know You Writer. Then we got Friend of the Devil, another Truckin', Candyman, It Hurts Me Too, Dancin In The Streets, Big Railroad Blues, St. Stephen, Not Fade Away, into Going Down the Road Feeling Bad, back into Not Fade Away, into A Love Light. Knob, what were your thoughts on show two?
Sure. Um, I also don't love this set. The big thing for me, okay, this is just a night where they're not really jamming too much. They're not even taking too many solos, and to me, with a handful of exceptions, they don't sound like the Grateful Dead. They do not sound, obviously, it's the same players. Obviously, it is the Grateful Dead. No other band in 1970 is doing covers of China Cat Sunflower. But for the most part, this doesn't sound like what I come to the Dead, especially Primal Dead, for. This isn't a bad thing. You just have to kind of judge this show on its own merits. And I had
Well,
a
I
hard.
wonder. I'll just push back a little bit on that. Like we heard, and I think we heard this from Charlie Miller, the man, the myth, the legend himself, that when the band went to New York, they turned into a rock band. Like they weren't the Grateful Dead that we know and love. So I wonder if this is part of that trend, where
I
they're
would say
kind
that's
of
definitely fair.
yeah, like maybe they're just leaving the California stuff behind. And I mean, they're in Stony Brook, New York. I'm not even sure where that is, but they're at a SUNY at a gym.
Yeah.
I could see them just bringing the rock rather than like trying to get real experimental.
That's
And
kind
it
of my
sounded
thing
like,
is
yeah,
they're also not really bringing the rock. It's a little too mellow for me to call them a rock band right now.
okay.
I don't know what it is. This just doesn't.
It was kind of
Okay.
country, yeah. Like there
Yeah.
was definitely a country twang to this whole night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll,
getting
I'll let
into
you
it.
talk though.
Sure. It's okay. It's a discussion-based podcast.
Sure.
So yeah, a slow, slinky smokestack to ease us into the late show. It's a pretty standard affair for Grateful Dead smokestacks. with a tasty Jerry solo. Definitely worth checking out for that. Then we get to Beat It On Down the Line. Do we count how many beats they played?
I did.
It was only 2.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding.
I have never heard so few beats at the beginning of Beat It On Down the Line. A fun rendition, especially impressively nimble drum work from Kreutzmann on this one. I really liked what he was bringing here. And then, I don't know. It's a fun China Cat. There's nothing much of note except for the first jam getting a weird texturally into a very tight I Know You Rider. Like this is around the point that I start thinking like everything is played right. There's no wrong notes, there's no bad song. This just doesn't have that sense of adventure that I come to the Dead, especially Primal Dead, for. There really aren't a lot of risks being taken, and that's fine. It leads to a very tight performance, but it doesn't inspire me to keep listening. Then we get to a pretty zippy Friend of the Devil. I really, it sounds pretty close to the studio version. It's 4 minutes long, not much improv. It was good. And then Truckin is fun. Again, it's a pretty standard affair until we get to the jam. The jam doesn't get weird, but it gets quiet, which is honestly an interestingly different space for Truckin. Usually that mid-Truckin jam is about kind of building to that big moment, but that big moment never quite comes. Instead, they let it go to a really small moment, and I thought that was honestly really cool. My only gripe with this Truckin is that I wish they played a little more after the last verse. Jerry was playing some cool licks, and it felt like they had a good couple of minutes left in them. Anyway, for the most part, with this show leaning into shorter renditions of these tunes, I was feeling a little unfulfilled. If there is an exception to this rule, it is Candyman. Candyman is one of my highlights of this show.
Really?
I really like the Candyman. I think it's just because the mellow vibe is already so close to how Candyman already is, that this was working for me. And again, we're in the American Beauty is about to come out world. I think it's no accident that they played Friend of the Devil, Truckin, and Candyman all back to back, and then didn't say go buy our album in true Grateful Dead fashion.
I forgot.
Yeah. But Candyman has a great Jerry vocal, some pretty nice harmonies. It sounds, honestly, about as close to the American Beauty version as you'll ever get out of Live Dead. And I enjoyed it in that regard. I also really liked the Hurts Me Too. It was relatively mellow in the underscoring, but a passionate vocal delivery from Pig. An awesome harmonica solo, really enjoyed. Now, if there is one song that felt like the Grateful Dead to me, it is Dancin In The Street.
Yeah.
This is what I come to the Grateful Dead for. Dancin In The Street is without question the best part of this show, in my, I was going to say humble opinion, but in my incredibly smug opinion. It's just a very good jam. It is very reactive and dynamic. Everybody is able to play off each other and play off what each other are doing without ever losing that sense of groove of dancing. It's a very fun, very interesting rendition of the song, and I just wish more songs tonight sounded like what they were doing on Dancin In The Street. When Big Railroad Blues started, my first note is just, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It was like an almost polka-y groove on the backing of Big Railroad Blues.
I wrote Hoedown.
Yeah, exactly. And again, this isn't a problem. It's just different and weird, and it's worth it for the Jerry solo, but it's an odd vibe for this song that I'm not quite sure works. Steven is good. It's well played. I don't know if I've ever... I might get my Deadhead card taken away for this, but I don't know if I've ever heard the Glockenspiel on the St. Stephen Bridge. That was an interesting sound to throw in. It gets really nice and spacey in the jam before the last verse. It almost gets lost as they get back into the riff, but they find their way home. It's really cool. And then a short and sweet, Not Fade Away, with a very subtle transition into an honestly quiet Going Down the Road Feelin Bad. I don't know if I've ever heard a Going Down the Road Feelin Bad this quiet. And not like it starts quiet so that it can build big. Like it stays in that mellow, quiet world pretty much the whole time. but a lovely and we bid you goodnight, taking us back into a cool, not fade away, and then a very slick transition into Turn On Your Love Light. Um, as I always say, I liked the 22-minute Turn On Your Love Light. I thought the energy from Pig was really good. The crowd was like eating out of his hand during this. The bit with the call and response, the crowd was getting so into it. Pig's rap, it was, it's the usual Pigpen rap affair. I always love when he tells you to stop playing pocket pool. The line that really got me tonight, he at one point went, "I'm going to tell you about my old lady. I'm not going to tell you all about my old lady. That's kind of private business." But this Love Light,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
This Love Light, I think, is especially fun to hear how the band underscores Pigpen's rap. This to me felt like a much more dynamic. There are some versions of Love Light where you can kind of hear the band going, "I wish he stopped talking 5 minutes ago." This is a version where they were super into what he was saying, and they were super into supporting that. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on in the jam underneath the rap. Bob's guitar parts are all over the place, and it's very fun. I'll spoil my feelings on the upcoming segment. I liked the late show better than the early show, for sure. I'm not huge on either, but I think the late show was at least worth checking out. Anyway, what do you think, Fig?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about one show versus the other, but let's get into my little comments about the individual songs. Smokestack was kind of a cool, slinky version. There's some decent slide work by Jerry, and I think even Bobby was on slide too. So that's kind of cool to hear them being the two-headed monster there on guitar. Beat It On Down the Line, I think 2 beats is probably going to be as few beats as we'll ever hear, so that's kind of interesting. And just for the audience sake, every time the band plays Beat It Down the Line, I guess someone at some point calls out a number and the band plays that many numbers, and it can go on to I don't know what the record is. I'm sure Knob does. So
I think it's. I hate that I know this off the top of my head, but there's one year on Mickey's birthday. I want to say it's his 45th birthday, and that's the number they yell out, and they do 45 beats for 45 years of Mickey Hart.
Love it. Some people say they're still beaten to this day. Beating On Down the Line. Okay, so this is part of the cowboy stuff that's going on. Bob starts singing in this weird plaintive sounding voice, like I guess it was kind of country, but it just sounded not great. We get into China Rider. The drumming was very interesting. It must have been Mickey Hart because it was big, thumping, sparse, almost sounded tribal drumming for China. Very Mickey. Jerry has some really tasty and fun licks in the first jam there. I really like this version. Felt very Allman Brothers-y. For China, Rider was just okay. The Northbound Train, if I had to rate the Northbound Train portion, when Jerry says, "I wish I were a headlight on the Northbound Train," usually he goes up, and I know this is one of Knob's favorite segments. I would have only rated it about a 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
He just kind of, mentions that he wish he were a headlight. There's no emphasis on that. We get into Friend of the Devil. This was a real country fried version. Some really great guitar work because it was pretty fast. So I admire what they were doing on Friend of the Devil there. Truckin again was very laid back, including Bobby's vocals, so very different from the earlier set. And there was a sweet jam that was pleasant, but ultimately didn't really go anywhere besides where you expected it, which was back to the chorus. Candyman I just wrote was okay, and I remember being like, "Oh, I got to listen to Candyman," again. And I remember listening again, and I was like, "Yeah, it's just okay." So we disagree on that, Knob. Hurts Me Too. I thought
we're gonna fight about that after the recording. We're gonna we're gonna take it outside.
No, we're too exhausted because the hits keep coming, and we have another show to listen to.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's like a pie eating contest where the prize is more pie. Hurts Me Too was great. Again, Jerry was doing some Clapton stuff, which I really like that he was doing it. Like when I say that, there's emulation going on, I think it's great because Jerry can do it. It's not like, your friend who had a Clapton book that he got from, the Barnes and Noble, and he learned how to play Clapton. It's it's good. It's good stuff. And I also liked Pigpen singing on "Hurts Me Too." And yeah, then we get into dancing, and Bobby. This was a great song. I just wrote a little quote from Bobby. Why don't you all get up and dance for a while? Which, I mean, probably because they played Candyman and Hurts Me Too. They were probably all sitting right before they were playing dancing, which was really up tempo and it was really fun. I wrote that it was a proto disco version in the instrumental section, and then I wrote, actually, this is probably proto eyes at around 5:15 in the track there. And at one point, I don't know if anybody caught this, but it morphed into a Cosmic Charlie melody. It was, kind of the rhythm playing it, but it was the melody for Cosmic Charlie, just in blocky chords. It's kind of cool to hear. Yeah. And the last one that I really have any substance for is Big Railroad Blues. This was rockabilly style. Jerry was slurring the vocals. Like this just sounded like more like cowboy music. Turned into a hoedown. An interesting version. I love this song. This was not the greatest. Saint Stephen, I don't have much for. Not Fade Away, not much. Going Down the Road Feeling Bad into Not Fade Away, not much. Love Light, yeah, I would love to see, and I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, of just Pigpen doing his thing. Because typically he will do the rap and he'll do pocket pool. He'll talk about, actually, looking to your brothers and sisters and, extending a hand, mostly your sisters, and introducing yourself, and that's all kind of well-worn territory. But this one was interesting in the sense that he was actually picking people out of the crowd and being like, stand up, like have fun, like go crazy, and he did that like for quite some time. So I'd like to see him doing his thing. I think that'd be cool. Probably not going to actively search that out, but that would be cool, I think. Game, why don't you let us know your thoughts?
Smokestack was good. Beat It On Down the Line was good. Trying to Cat I Know You Rider. Spoiler alert. Good. A Friend of the Devil was good. Truckin. Eh. This is
Wow.
earlier today when I listened to this, I said, "Oh, I'm listening to Truckin'," and then Truckin' 2.
It was very
And
Norm
then
Macdonald.
yeah, and then it was like I don't even know what the hell was different between Truckin' 1. And and my first instinct was, well, Truckin' 1 had to be like 2 or 3 minutes long.
It was.
No, it was like 8. And Truckin'
Oh,
2 was
oh,
like
oh! 2 or 3 minutes
and
longer. It was 2 minutes
yeah,
longer. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Trucked One was longer.
it was a little
And
bit
th-
longer. Yeah.
and then I'm like, what? So then I started questioning a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It didn't really grab me. Candyman, great. Always love
Yeah,
Candyman.
that
It
means I
hurts.
win.
it, good night for Pigpen. It hurts me
I
too.
agree.
Awesome. Dancing in
Yeah.
the Street, good. Big Railroad, good. And here is where I was bad podcast co-host, and I actually dropped off. I did not listen to the end from State Stephen through Love Light, though I
Wow.
probably wouldn't have liked the Love Light. So it's probably good that I stopped where I did.
All right, so
Oh,
I'm going to pick it up, and typically, well, at one point we thought it'd be a good idea to have a rate the Scarlet Fire, but we never get Scarlet Fires anymore. It's been months and months. So
Yes.
I thought of a new segment here, and because this was, a set 1, set 2, early set, late set kind of night, and we actually got Truckin'. Did we get any other double played songs?
Nope, just
Besides
trucking.
Okay, it's just Truckin'. So I guess Truckin' was like the new hit single. I decided to, and we're looking at the show sheet here. If you guys could just look over at the show sheet, I'm going to reveal our brand new segment, and it's really just going to be for tonight, and it's going to be called "The Mother Trucker."
Nice.
Thank you. Essentially, which version, Game and Knob, was your Mother Trucker? Was it the first set or was it the second set?
And being the mother trucker is good.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course it's good. Come on. Don't you want to play the game?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understand the rules of the game before I play.
my
Yeah.
mother trucker of a set Uh,
Well, it's which Truckin
which
version
Truckin is?
was your favorite? Yeah, which was the mother
I
Truckin?
mean, the second Truckin made game lose his faith in reality, so I feel like we know the answer there.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a
Uh,
good thing or a not good thing?
Hmm. Good
Because on
question.
this
Good question.
I don't know. I
on
don't
this
know.
podcast, I don't know if lose faith in reality with
But
this fan base is a good thing or a bad thing.
it has to be the second one because it's the only one I really remember.
Okay, knobbers.
I definitely think it's the first one. The first one has the pre-song jam that I thought was a lot of fun, and in general, I thought the jamming was a little more inspired in the earlier Truckin' than the later.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be petty and disagree with you. Although I could and make it so that
Yeah,
I
for
win.
once.
I will agree with you. I did like the first one better. Yeah, they were just more in the trucking mood, I think, in the early show rather than the second show. So that's all I got. That's the mother trucker for the night. Thank you for playing
Wow.
along. I'll kick it back over to
I
the
can't
game.
wait to do this again next week.
That we will not have this ever again. I don't think.
So this is the one and only mother trucker
Yeah,
Oh,
segment.
but I think we
I'll
should
put
keep it
my.
in the show sheet every week, just in case.
I mean, we could change MVP to who was the mother trucker.
Ooh, I like that.
Well,
Um,
let's kick that around.
I'm just gonna make this a blanket statement because I think I know the answer. Has this show made anyone's Book of the Dead?
No.
No.
Yeah, no here too.
Nope.
Which show is
Yeah.
better? Knob, I'll send it to you first.
I mean, I'd said it in my segment, but I much preferred the late show over the early show. Though I
Fig,
did enjoy the good lovin' in the early show a lot.
Fig,
Yeah.
early or late?
Man, I don't know. They got that dancing in the second show.
That's what it comes down to for me. For me, the highlight
Yeah,
of the night is the
it
dancing in the
was,
streets.
and that is factual. Game, why don't you go?
I'm going late show.
Late show. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that doesn't matter what I say.
But what would you say?
I would go with the early show. I
Okay,
think as a show, I actually appreciated the early show better.
interesting.
Any show that starts with me thinking, "God, Jerry's voice sounds incredible," like you just got to do
Sure.
that one. But that's it. That's it. That's fine. It's a democracy. I get it. I'm just gonna change everybody's votes tomorrow.
I was just gonna say that that is not what we said out loud.
All right. All right.
All right, show MVP. I'm gonna kick us off with that, and I'm gonna go with Pigpen. I normally get annoyed with Pigpen, but I really enjoyed Pigpen's work this evening. So Pigpen is my show MVP. Fig, show MVP.
um, I'll go with Jerry just for that. God, Jerry's voice sounds incredible. Little statement that I made there. Yeah. Thank you.
And Knob.
Okay. I mean, my two big contenders are Pigpen and Bill Kreutzmann, and so I think because you game said Pigpen, I will give it to our boy Billy,
All right.
and say that Bill Kreutzmann is my MVP of the night.
BK.
Bob also had a really good night. Also, shout out to Bob, the birthday boy.
Well, he'll be
Oh,
hearing this next week, obviously, which
Of course,
will be
of
past his
course.
birthday.
I
Now,
mean,
I
he
will say
listens
something
to
about
every episode.
yeah. We have no Reddit comments this week, and it's strange. Like, I would expect there to be Reddit comments for this week, but I'm really noticing trends where the Primal Dead is not commented on so much as the later shows. So yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like the Primal Dead comments all live on like
The archive.
alt.binaries dot Grateful Dead.
Oh, that's a really interesting thought. Yeah, like Reddit's not the forum for that generation of deadheads.
Yeah, I wonder.
That's very interesting, actually.
There's probably internet news groups that exist yet from when like the
Well, I
Grateful
would
Dead were
say,
still touring. I would have
oh,
to think somewhere. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe I should hunt for that for the next show.
That's
Hmm.
awesome. I mean,
Anyway,
the archive has a lot of like aughts and teens comments, and you'll find some older heads there. But yeah, you're right. I don't think they're circulating around Reddit.
no, no.
90s kids, 80s kids, definitely.
Next week we are back to the 80s. Not November. September 3rd, 1985, from the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri. A Tuesday, a lovely Tuesday in Kansas City. Um, Looks like we get another big Railroad Blues. We get another Smokestack, another Truckin.
Hmm.
Um, Set
What
2
is?
opens with Cryptical. That's
What
Yeah,
interesting.
is?
that's the final
Yeah,
full.
that's the
That's it
final.
for the other one. Sweet.
Yeah. What
What
is
were you gonna
Don't
say,
Need
Fig?
Love? What is Don't Need Love?
I
Is that a
believe that's one of
Brent
the
tune?
Brent songs. I believe that's one
Interesting.
of the Brent songs that was tried in the mid '80s and never
Oh,
quite found itself. It was "Don't Need Love" and "Maybe You Know." There's probably a third one,
oh,
but those are the two big ones that stand out in my brain.
games like a hidden Brent song,
Hidden gem.
a hidden
Uh,
gem.
this looks like a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. I like the mid '80s.
Don't Ease Me In, Set One Ender, a Baby Blue Encore.
Oh,
Uh,
Baby Blue Encore. Oh, love it. It's my favorite encore.
yeah.
Delicious.
Oh, it should be pretty good. It should be
Yeah,
really good. So let's go ahead and do our bookkeeping for the evening because my ass is ready for bed.
absolutely.
As always, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button and like and share with any and all of your Grateful Dead loving friends and family. You may find us at wherever podcasts are downloaded. However, not one that loosely rhymes with Gordon Notify. So if you happen to use a service that rhymes with Gordon Notify, you won't find us on that one. You may find us on the web directly at helponthewaypod.podbean.com. You may email us at helponthewaypod@gmail.com. You may communicate with us on Reddit at reddit.com/gratefuldead. You may also watch us on YouTube, and there is a big burst of uploads coming within the next 2 or 3 days
All
of this
right.
uploading. That is youtube.com/helponthewaypod and the Kick channel, kick.com/the GD channel. Knob or Fig, any parting words for our friends for the evening?
Uh,
Knob.
all right, I'll tell you about my lady. Well, I won't tell you all about my lady. That's
It's
personal business.
pretty good. Why don't
Thank you.
y'all stand up and get up and dance for a while?
And on
You will
that
get up and
note,
dance for a while to the second set.
we thank you for listening to the Help on the Way podcast.
Podcast.
Oh, smokestack lightning, shining just like gold. Why can't you hear me crying? stop your train. Let up, homeboy, ride. Why can't you hear me crying? Ooh. never see you no more. Now can't you hear me crying? Ooh. Hey, now, have no fear. By the time we get finished playing, folks, it'll be November. Well, this job I got is a little too hard. Yeah, running out of money, Lord, I need more pay. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, Lord, I'm gonna pack my bag. Gonna beat it all down the line. Going down the line. Going down the line. Down the line. Going 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 down the line. Hey, going down the line. Going down the line. Hey, going down the line. Gonna beat it down the line. Yeah, now they're waiting at the station, Lord, when that train pulls on by. I'm going back where I belong. Hey, I'm going north to my same old used to be. Down in Truck Brown, gold mine. Said coal mine. Coal mine. Hey, coal mine. Coal mine. Hey, coal mine. Coal mine. Hey, coal mine. Coal mine. Yeah, coal mine. Coal mine. Hey, 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 coal mine. Hey, coal mine. All down in Truck Brown, coal mine. Hey, I'm going back to that shack way across the railroad track. I'm going back where I belong. Yeah, got a sweet woman out just waiting there for me. Yes, and that's where I'm gonna make my happy home. I said happy home. Whoa, happy home. A happy, happy home. Hey, 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 happy home. Hey, happy, happy, happy home. That's where I'm gonna make my happy home.
Cheshire like a diamond angel. A leaf of all colors plays a golden string fit up to a double. You water from over my back. Of the Queen China. I know you better don't miss me when I'm gone. I know you better don't miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby from rolling in your arms. wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I'd shine my light through cool Colorado rain. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby from rolling in your arms. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby from rolling in your arms. I lit out from Reno, I was trailed by 20 pounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil, baby, only 20 bills. Spent the night in Utah in a cave up in the hills. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. But the devil caught me there. Took my $20 bill and it vanished in the air. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Got two reasons why I cry away each lonely night. The first one's named Sweet Anne Marie, and she's my heart's delight. Second one is prison, baby, the sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife and she no baby, baby, one in Cherokee. First one say she got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Say she got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Chips cashed in, keep truckin' like the dude man together for a lesson line. Just keep truckin'.
Garlands and neon and flashing marquees on Main Street. Chicago, New York, Detroit, and it's all on the same street. Typical city involved in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings. Alice got a salt machine. Houston goes to New Orleans. New York got the ways and means, just won't let you be. Most of the cats you meet on the streets think of true love. Most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. One of the days they know they gotta get going. Out of the door and down to the street all alone. Truckin' like the doodah man. Once told me you got to play your hand. Sometimes rides ain't worth a dime if you don't lay 'em down. Sometimes the lights all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me what a long age it's been. What in the world ever became a sweet Jane? She lost her sparkle, you know she isn't the same. living on reds, vitamin C and cocaine. All a friend can say is ain't it a shame. Truckin up to Buffalo, been thinking you got to mellow slow. Takes time to pick a place to go and just keep trucking on. Sitting and staring out of the hotel window, got a tip they're gonna kick the door in again. I like to get some sleep before I travel, but if you got a warrant, I guess you're gonna come in. Busted down on Bourbon Street, set up like a bowling pin, knocked down against a wearing thin that just won't let you be. You're sick of hanging around and you like to travel, get tired of traveling, you want to settle down. I guess they can't provoke your soul for trying. Get out of the door, light out and look all around. Sometimes the lights all shining on me, other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been. Truckin, I'm going home. Oh, baby, back where I belong. Back home, down and patch my bones and get back truckin'. Truckin', I'm going home. Oh, oh, baby, back where I belong. Back home, down the
my bones and get back truckin'. Oh, 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 oh. Come on, you pretty women with your hair hanging down. Open up your windows, 'cause the Candyman's in town. Come on, boys and wages, roll those laughing bones. 7 come 11, boys, I'll take your money home. Look out, the Candyman. Here he come and he's gone again. Pretty lady ain't got no friend till the Candyman comes around again. I come in from Memphis, where I learned to talk the jive. When I get back to Memphis, be one less man alive. Good morning, Mr. Benson. I see you're doing well. If I had me a shotgun, I'd blow you straight to hell. Look out, the Candyman. Here he come and he's gone again. Pretty lady ain't got no friend till the Candyman comes around again. Come on, boys, and wager if you have got the man, if you got $1, boys, lay it on the line. Hand me my old guitar, pass the whiskey round. Won't you tell everybody you meet that the Candyman's in town? Look out, the Candyman. Here he come and he's gone again. Pretty lady ain't got no friend till the Candyman comes around again. Look out, the Candyman. Here he comes and he's gone again. Pretty lady ain't got no friend till the Candyman comes around again. You said you was hurting, almost lost your mind, 'cause the man you love hurt you all the time. But when things go wrong, wrong with you, it hurts me too. You love him a little more when you ought to love him less. Why pick up behind him and take his mess? But when things go wrong with you, it hurts me too.
love another man. Oh, but he don't love you. But you hang around him, stick to him just like glue. But when things go wrong, wrong with you, it hurts me too. One thing I want to tell you, you better leave him, you better put him down. 'Cause I just can't stand to see your pussy around. 'Cause when things go wrong, yes it do, wrong with you, and you know it hurts me too. That's it. Ready for a brand new beat. Come on, get the times to right for dancing in the street. They're dancing in Chicago, the street. Down in New Orleans, in the street. In New York City, dancing in the street. All we need is music, sweet music, sweet music, selling music everywhere, everywhere. Dancing in the street. Doesn't matter what you wear, long as you are there. Come on, every guy, grab a girl and everywhere. Around the world there'll be dancing in the street. This is an invitation across the nation to change for folks to meet. Where the swinging swing, music playing and dancing in the street. Philadelphia, PA, dancing in the street. Baltimore and the sea now, dancing in the street. Can't forget the Motor City, dancing in the street. All we need is music, sweet music, selling music everywhere. Well, they'll be laughing, singing, music swinging and dancing in the street. Doesn't matter what you wear, long as you are there. Come on, every time, well, everywhere, around the world, they're dancing in the street. Why don't y'all get up and dance around? All we need is music, sweet music,
Sweet music.
steady music, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Been singing, music swinging, dancing in the street. Doesn't matter what you wear, long as you are there. Come on, every guy, grab a girl, everywhere. Around the world they're dancing, dancing in the street. Hey, come on now, they're dancing, dancing in the street. Hey, come on now, they're dancing. 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 Hey!
Now we're down the river, never got there on time. And down to the river, never got there on time. The train rolled down, she's rolling down the line. The journey go away now, don't tell me no lie. There's a journey go away, don't tell me no lie. Darling, now she's rolling down the line. What mama said. Well, I wouldn't be here trying to sleep in this cold and dead. Well, my mama told me, my papa told me too. Well, my mama told me, mama told me too. I shouldn't be here trying to sing this railroad. mama said. I had this what mama said. Well, I wanted to be here trying to save this whole right man. Well, my mama told me, papa told me to. My mama told me, papa told me to. And you shouldn't be here trying to sing these railroad songs. So Jenny, go away now, don't tell me no lie. Yes, so Jenny, go away now, don't tell me no lie. That train gone down, she's rolling down the there on time. And I went to the depot, never got there on time. And the train rolled down, she's a rolling down the the people all complain. Stephen prosper in his time. Well, he may and he may decline. Get it, that it doesn't now. Stephen would answer if he only knew how. The golden bell bucket hanging clear to hell, and that way gets now and then. Stephen fill it up and lower down and lower down again. Lady finger dipped in moonlight, writing what for across the morning sky. Sunlight scratches dawn with answer. Darkness shrugs and bids the day goodbye. Speeding arrow, sharp and narrow. What a lot of fleeting matters you have spurned. Several seasons with their treasons. wrap the babe in scarlet covers, all it go wrong. A penny in the by and by. Talk about your penny, talk about your ills. One man gathers what another man spills. So long he's got to calling it home. Ocean thunder rolling, a lively woman, spinning that curious sense of your own. Can you answer? Yes, I can. What would be the answer to the answer, man? how it's gonna be. You're gonna give your love to me. I wanna love you night and day. Why love will not fade away? Why love will not fade away? Yeah, yeah. Just how I feel. Love for real, not fade away. Yeah, yeah. Going down the road in bed, yeah. Don't wanna be treated this way. I'm going where those chilly winds don't blow. Going where those chilly winds don't blow. Going where those chilly winds don't blow. Don't wanna be treated this way. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad. I wanna be treated this way.
road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Yeah. Don't wanna be treated this old way. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. Going where the climate suits my clothes. Don't wanna be treated this way. I'm going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Hey. Don't wanna be treated this way. Without a warning, broke my heart. Taking it, baby, so little far. You left me standing in the dark. Said your love was done. Come on, baby, baby, please. Baby, baby, I'm on my knees. Turn on your light. Get a little lonely in the middle of the night, and I need you, darling, to things alright. Come on, baby, baby, please. Begging you, baby, and I'm on my knees. Turn on your light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Get a little lonely in the middle of the night, and I need you, darling, to make things alright. Come on, baby, baby, please. Begging you, baby, and I'm on my knees. Turn on your light, turn your light, let it shine on me. Let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, on your love light, let it shine on me. 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 Shine on me. Let it shine. Shine on me. My. Let it shine. I don't want it all. I just want a little bit. I don't want it all, no, Lord. I just want a little bit. Little your loving, little your kissing, little your loving. Some of your rolling slow. That's all I need. Yes, I do. I'm gonna take you home. I'm gonna lock that door. I'm gonna throw away that key. Till you let that little old light shine on me. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Now, wait a minute. I want to tell y'all something about my old lady. I'm not going to tell you all about my old lady. That's kind of private business. But I'll tell you one little thing One little reason, one little reason that makes you make it feel so good sometimes. Cause she got box knitted, great big and oversized, working undercover with a all right. Be my lady. Be my soul. Hey, leave it alone. Now wait a minute. Now I want to tell you something. I want to talk to you fellas. All the men's in the house this evening. I want to tell you something. Now I know you standing around, and you might have a little girl next door to you, and you say, don't look bad. So you go through all kind of changes trying to get her to go home with you, and you blow it. I'll tell you what you do. All you got to do is say, hey, what's your name? That's fuck. If that don't work, next thing you do is tell this fool to get off the organ. No, what you do is you take your hands out of your pockets, quit playing pocket pool, and let me hear how they sound when they go like that. Is that all you can do? Come on now, folks. And I want all these men down here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want all you fellas who are sitting down. I want everybody down here who's sitting down. I want you to stand there. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. It's just us. Folks, I see you, man. Why don't you stand up? Hey, stand up. Yeah, your buddies too. Get on up. You, I see you. You got to get up. Right there. Get on your feet. All right, that's better. I'm gonna see what your hands can do. All right. Ha. Well, keep on. You ain't doing nothing. All right. And I'm gonna tell you that early in the morning sometime things begin to get pretty good. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But it's one thing. I just got to ask my ride. After all the other thing go down, I just know you got something special headed away for me. And I said, please, please. I know you can. I've been there before. That's all I need. All I need. a light. I know you gotta hit away. Yes, you do. So I say, please. Why don't you let it shine? Let it shine. Let it shine up on me. Some of your love, some of your life, shine it up on me. 'Cause I know you got it hid away. I know you got it hid away. 'Cause I've been that place before. I've been that place before. Yes, I am. So when everything gets got kind of done, like I told you before, I asked my baby, I say, please, please, mama, you got that sweet thing hid away, that special little thing, thrill my soul, special little thing, won't let me go, no it won't, no it won't. And I said, please, why don't you get out that special key and unlock that safe that you got that light hid inside. 'Cause I've seen it a few times before, but I know that's your special little surprise for me. So I ask her, please, I ask her nice and quiet like. I ask her nice and quiet. Let your light shine on me. Come on, I know you got it. Yes, I do. I've been in the light before, and I know you got it. And all I need, some of your light. Let it shine, shine on me. Let it shine, shine on me. It make me feel pretty nice. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do want your love. That's all I need. Special little thing, special little thing. My, my. It's like two pigs fighting in a sack when you're walking down the road. My, if I'm behind, I got to get next to you. When that shine on. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine up on this boy. Let it shine. Let it shine. Shine on me. That's all I need. Some of your love. Some of your love. I work out fine. Turn on your light, turn on your light, turn on your light, turn on your light, turn on your light. Little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit high, a little bit high. That's all I need. Oh my God! Come on, all I need. Come on, baby, give me your love, come on, tell me your love, come on. Around it, can't get over it. You got to get in there.